But I'm not running...
Why don't you tell everyone what you earn? You ask me
Because
what I earn.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because I'm not actually leading out my members, I don't have any, on a strike which is going to cause huge inconvenience to the British people.
The majority of people in this dispute are earning between £25,000 and £31,000.
Yeah, but some are only 54,000, aren't they?
Some probably earn more than that.
Rail engineers...
the median salary for a railway worker that we're covering in this dispute is £31,000 a year.
Right, but train drivers can get 54,000 or more. Rail engineers can get up to 50,000. I mean, a lot of your workers earn good money. And my point is really, at a time of economic crisis, when people are literally struggling to feed their kids, when food bank queues are getting bigger, is this the right time for you to be holding the country to ransom for 11% pay rises?
Well, we're not holding anyone to ransom.
We
haven't
are.
asked for 11... Well, if you let me answer the question...
Well,
we haven't
just
asked
denied
for an
a
11...
fact.
Well, you're going to let me answer the question?
I am.
We haven't asked anyone in this dispute for an 11% pay rise. We've pointed out that inflation, the RPI, is currently 11.1. At the point we should have done a deal with Network Rail, it was 7.1. And last year, it was 0.9. Other companies, it was around 7.5% to 8%. So let's get that straight. We're not asking for 11%.
You are quoting that figure because you want that to be in headlines, right?
That's where inflation is going, and it's going above 11%. And if we don't get a pay rise this year, we'll have lost out for maybe between 15
I want to show you,
or more percent.
All right, but just in relation to your personal remuneration, do you not think there's a slight inconsistency between saying there are too many rich people in the country and we're going to take all their money away and you earning a shed load of cash?
I've never said that there's too many rich people. What I've said is that the super rich in this country have never been richer. We've got more billionaires than we've ever needed. And if we want to get equity in this country, we need to restructure that. And that means the British worker getting a pay rise.
A lot of things that have been bubbling here, big. And I wouldn't mind just getting your take on that from New York. First of all, I don't know if you heard that interview just now with Mick Lynch about the strikes coming next week, but it does feel like a real throwback, this, to the 70s and 80s. You know, the old... militant union bosses holding the country to ransom. I just can't help feeling it's so ill-timed to be doing this right now.
I couldn't agree more. I listened to the interview with great interest because, like everybody else in Britain, I have had an experience plenty of times in my life of what happens when the rail unions go on strike. And, you know, what it means is that everybody trying to get into their place of work has the most miserable time imaginable. I've done it myself countless numbers of times when the unions strike. You end up having to stand for hours at a bus stop to get onto a massively overcrowded bus and travel for hours to do a journey that would normally take you maybe half an hour. And so every time this happens, public sentiment against the unions grows. I can assure you, and many of your viewers will appreciate this, nobody stands under somebody else's armpit on a massively overcrowded bus for hours and thinks happily about the rail unions. Nobody thinks, yeah, those guys should get a way above inflation pay rise. Nobody thinks that.
Well, that's
nobody
the
thinks that the rail
Bonnie
bosses
Greer is raising her hand, actually.
I stand under people's armpits, and I don't have a problem with that. I think part of a civilized society...
Well, you're an unusual person.
Well, it's true, and I used to live in New York, too, so I can say that. Part of civilized society is that workers should be able to withhold their labor, and we need organized labor. I have no problems with this at all, even though it is hurting people. I admit that. It is hurting people.
No problems with it, really?
No, I really don't.
They want an 11% pay rise.
They probably deserve it.
They don't deserve it.
Why don't they deserve it?
Why would a train driver who may be earning £54,000 or more a year right now in this economic climate deserve an 11% pay rise? Nurses can barely get 1%.
Well, that's